Today we're watching Unbreakable. Welcome to the Grizzled Geek. I'm Mike.
I'm Kirsten.
I'm Doug.
And today we are watching Unbreakable, a classic. Now, we've all seen Unbreakable, just for the record here.
Yes.
However, we haven't seen it in a while, and next week, Glass opens up. We're going to actually all go see Glass, review that, so look for that video. But in honor of that, we're going to go back to where it all began. The movie that started it all that we had no idea was actually going to end up a trilogy.
Yeah, no, not at all. I guess we probably would have wanted at the time, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Like, this is the best superhero movie ever.
I remember saying that. Those words have come out of my mouth. Now, like I said, that's why we do this. We're going to rewatch this thing and see how it holds up. This is very different kind of superhero movie. In fact, we didn't really realize it was a superhero movie until like almost the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's a Shyamalan movie, so it's it's to be expected.
Yes.
Now this was
one of his good movies.
Yeah, well, it was his second, right? This came right after.
I think so.
Right after Sixth Sense. It's the third movie. So what was the one before that?
Nobody knows who that was.
We don't know. There was a movie. Then he hit it big with Sixth Sense, and then Unbreakable. So no one knew what to expect from this. So yeah, it was one of the two movies that pulled off that that switch at the end. That was
Oh wow!
Like wow, I didn't see that coming. And looking back on it, you should have. So we're going to look at it this way. Now, Kirsten, what do you remember about this movie?
This movie is like top 10 for me. Like, it was one of the first movies that I had experience with superheroes. Like, I didn't know superheroes were a thing.
Right.
And then I watched this movie as a kid and was like, whoa, what is this?
Yeah.
So I love this movie. It's a fantastic movie from what I can remember.
Right.
That's the key. What you can remember. I'm like, I remember loving this movie, but I can only remember random scenes, and I don't remember what order they come in.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, I remember the scene with him and his kid putting weight after weight on his bar and just seeing how far he could go.
Yeah.
And I don't remember when in the movie that happened.
Right.
So it's like, what's going on?
I remember me and my son James watching that, and then him going, let's put more and more weights. Maybe you're unbreakable. And I'm like, no. No, I'm not. And we're not going to do that. And he's like, come on, Dad, you don't know until you tried it. I'm like, no, I know. I know. Even if I survive a sole survivor of a train wreck, I would not try.
Yeah.
I would not just assume. Did you go and start testing yourself after that?
Sure. If I survive a train wreck with no damage whatsoever.
They're going to start shooting me with a .22 first. Oh, God, no. I'm not unbreakable.
He's basically that Bruce Willis. So Bruce Willis now, actually.
Yeah. See?
So I'd do the weight thing.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Right.
It's, like, okay, how much can I lift to keep going?
Yeah.
Because eventually you're either good. You go, I got it! Bug! Oh, crap, I can't get it off.
I don't know. I think I want more than a little kid spotting for me. If I was,
Yeah, true.
Like testing giant weights.
Except for,
yeah.
He did it the way you would do if you were lifting alone, which is you don't put the ends on so you can drop the weight off of you.
Yeah.
Sorry, disturbance from animals running into the room.
It was like a cat and dog just chasing each other through the... Remind me to take the bell off the cat before we film.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, Unbreakable. I remember this movie, I freaking out because it's actually both bad, focus on the bad guy and the good guy, right? So it's not like you get a little bit of both. Now, the sequel, Split, what do you think of Split?
I finally watched it.
Oh, nice. I was gonna say, you kind of have to before we get to.
Yeah. So I thought it was a pretty good movie. I can kind of see how it would be in the same universe, although it's like a completely different movie.
It's a completely different movie.
It's like a horror story almost.
What are we doing here? What the hell is going on?
I was sent to get you for a reason.
Open the door! No! There's a flower on the pillows, a flower in the bathroom. Like, we're important.
The only chance we have is if all three of us go crazy on this guy.
Who is that? Maybe she can help us.
We're here! Help us! We're in here!
Don't worry. He's not allowed to touch you. He knows what you're here for. He listens to me.
Yes.
Which I don't like. I never really thought of Unbreakable as a horror story. So
Right. Because, well, it's very, the supernatural elements are very,
yeah.
you know, down to earth for supernatural elements.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, the way they're presented is not like big, fantastic, you know. Like,
Right.
the supernatural elements in Split are a little more
Something horrible.
overt, I think.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
because you're in a different mindset. Like, you don't, like, it takes you completely by surprise at the end that it's actual sequel to, you know.
Right.
You're
Well,
like,
I mean, Split is like you're following like these kidnapped people, like
Yeah.
they're kids. They're kidnapped, so it's like the whole process of like I just want them to get out. So you're like scared, but with Unbreakable, you're like fighting for this guy. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you can do it.
it's
Like,
more feel good with
Yeah.
Unbreakable. I mean, because you're also in Unbreakable, you're also rooting not just for him to be like a hero.
Yeah.
You're rooting for him as a person.
Yeah.
Because he's broken
yeah,
inside. You know, there's something about his wrong, his marriage is falling apart, you know, his
Right.
relationship with his kid. And you see him, the whole movie, overcome that, right?
Right.
And, you know, that's where, you know, the true hero aspect of it comes in.
right.
Which puts it over the top from, you know, just a regular superhero movie, right?
Right.
You know, and then, like I said, Split is, you're like horror,
Yeah.
right? Which, James McAvoy, man, that, you know,
Yeah.
that his performance in Split is amazing.
Great. Yeah.
He's a good actor.
Oh my god, the way he can switch between personalities,
Yeah.
you know, in a take, and you're just like, wow. I believe that guy's disturbed, which I
Yeah.
guess is the point. So, so have you seen Split?
No.
Nope. So yeah, Doug's got some.
I don't like horror movies, especially this kind of horror movie.
Yeah.
This is not my type of movie at all.
Yeah, but watching that, you're looking at now, you know, going into Glass coming up here. He's got, you know, David Dunn, the reluctant hero, has got his work cut out for him because now he's got someone who, you know, mentally is, you know, basically a evil mastermind.
Yeah.
And then he's got someone physically who's as bad as the Beast
Right.
to face. So, and then they're, you know, team up against both of those guys.
Right.
You know, yeah, that's.
Well, here's the thing: our bad guy also has plenty of good personalities in him, so it's
Yes.
like it's going to be a true tide of like good versus evil.
Yeah.
Which side will win within him? You know.
Right. Here's the all today. Everybody talking about, you know, the sympathetic heroes today with the Killmonger and Thanos and everything like that. But I mean,
Sympathetic villains.
sympathetic villain, yeah, sympathetic villains.
Yeah.
But I mean, Glass was the first truly sympathetic villain, right? Because we get his whole, because we don't even see him as a villain until the end, right? That's the whole
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So you're sympathized with the guy throughout the entire thing, you know, his life and, you know, growing up and what, you know, made him him.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so yeah, you're rooting for him the entire movie as well until the switch at the end.
Yeah. Until
So-
I realize, oh,
Oh, yeah.
you're a psycho.
Yeah. It was like, whoa. But yeah, I agree. I don't know if it's, at one point I said this was the greatest superhero movie of all time. Of course, I think that was before.
Well, yeah. We
Anything
didn't
else
have
came
nearly
out,
as
yeah.
much.
Yeah, it was nearly
to-
as much as the Ghost
to-
one. There was no, I mean,
yeah.
The Dark Knight hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
But we'll see how this goes because I remember just loving this movie.
Yeah.
So, any last thoughts before we go check it out?
No, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch it after as long as it's been because I don't think I've watched it since it came out.
Oh wow!
I never bought the DVD or anything like that, so I don't think I've seen it since it came out.
Yeah, I got it to show my kids. He's like, "Oh, it's a great superhero movie." And a lot of people you're like, "I don't like comic book movies." I'm like, "Well, check out this movie.
Yeah.
It's not a comic book movie.
Yeah.
It's a superhero movie, not a comic book movie."
Yeah.
So if you're not into that whole, you know,
Which is funny because they feature pretty prominently.
yeah,
but it's not
true.
a comic book movie.
Yeah.
So,
In fact, going into it, I don't think anybody knew going into it. I think it was part of why it took on so became so popular, because a lot of people going into it had no idea that it was a comic book movie.
Right.
Like I didn't when I went to go see it. I went to go see it. People went into it just like me, based solely on how good Sixth Sense was.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so you're like, wow, the guy who did Sixth Sense, I got to go check out his next movie.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and then that goodwill kind of slowly dropped off a cliff.
Well, hopefully he's bringing it back now.
Yeah, hopefully he's bringing it back. Like, well, he's he's did a pretty good job with a Visit. I think it was his first one back that was actually good. It was a scary one. Went back to the horror roots with the kids visiting their grandparents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have
So
feelings about that movie.
yeah, yes, lots of feelings for that
Lots of
movie about that
feelings.
movie. And then with Split, right? And then I think it was a good movie, and then at the end it just took it over the top when you realize it's a sequel.
Yeah.
You're like, oh wow, so this is the next one, folks. If he gets 3 in a row, does that make up for Airbender, The Last Airbender?
No.
No.
It'll never make up for
He has to come up with another 6 cents before we forgive him for The Last Airbender.
I'll
Okay.
never forgive him for it. But I'll still appreciate his work.
Nice. All right, guys, we're off to watch Unbreakable again for the first time in a long time. We'll come back and let you know whether it holds up.
Thank you.
Oh, you're watching with us?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't hear.
I had no idea.
Yeah, flip the screen, but that's all right.
That's actually not.
This is Mr. Matheson. He's a doctor.
Are you okay?
An ambulance is on the way.
Thank you.
What are you doing?
Is there a name?
Without you.
All right, we're back. We just got through watching Unbreakable again for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, first thing is you realize how much more movies today are geared towards the ADD crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was the whole entire Rebels 3.
But that was one of those ones where you're like, that would break a baby's legs. They're basically rubber at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back then, during like the slow burn movies where,
Yeah, this is a drama.
this is
Yeah.
a drama.
It's not
Yeah.
it's not an action movie or anything
No.
like that. It's a drama.
sure.
So, but yeah, it is definitely kind of slower pace,
Yeah.
more mysterious, and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Definitely. I mean, I remember as this movie was playing, I remembered it all came back, right? As I was watching, I'm like, I remember it all. I was like, wow, it's kind of a slow movie compared to like, nowadays, I guess. All right, Kirsten. So what do you think?
I feel like this is a great example of like when you are a kid, you like dramatize things to be a lot more crazy than it actually is. In my head, I remember scenes in this movie that never happened, apparently. Like, I remember there being a scene where the main character was,
Gun.
yeah, he was running, like, in the stadium after someone who had a gun. Like, running, and there was, like, a threat of someone pulling a gun.
Hold up a second.
like actually having a gun pulled out.
Right.
And maybe even shooting him. I couldn't remember if that was something that had happened. So I was waiting for that moment to happen. And then I remembered a conversation where, like, where Samuel L. Jackson was in, like, a van, and he came in and talked to him in the van, and that never happened. So,
you have this whole movie in your head.
I know, and maybe there are bits of other movies that I just thought were part of this movie.
Yeah.
This was a good movie, but I feel like I had definitely, as a kid, made it to be a lot more than what it is. Not that it's a bad movie, just that, like, a lot more action in my head, and this was a lot more of a, like, psychological drama.
Yeah, it's definitely not an action film, and I mean I knew that going in. I just was, you know, compared to like most, like I said, it's not a superhero movie, right? It's
not a comic book movie.
Yeah.
It's you know, more of a dramatic movie.
Yes, absolutely.
That's sad when patients get like that. They lose reality.
Joseph, what the hell are you doing?
Oh my God. You don't believe. I'll show you. You can't get hurt.
The gun's not loaded. He doesn't know where I keep the bullets.
And your Rookie of the Year trophy.
Joseph, did you load that gun?
You won't get hurt.
Elijah was wrong.
When did he meet Elijah?
He was with me when I met him.
No one believes him.
Joseph, listen to me. Sometimes when people get sick or hurt for a long time, like Elijah, their mind gets hurt too. And they start to think things that aren't true. He told me what he thought about your father. It isn't true.
I'll show you.
Do you remember the story about the boy that almost drowned in the pool? That was me they were talking about. I almost died. That was me. I'm not lying, okay? I just didn't remember it, that's
Joseph,
all.
You know your father was injured in college. You know that. You know all about that. Don't do it. He'll die, Joseph.
I'll just shoot him once.
Joseph, listen to what your mother...
And it's an example of a movie that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Because as you're watching the movie, you're going, man, this is kind of slow.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of scenes that are just like him looking off into the distance, him walking around, him doing nothing really. And you're like, what? But then once you put it all together, you're like, this is a really good movie.
Yeah. It is. It's like where you put that. It is definitely the...
Peels for the disposal. What? Save the peels for the disposal. The garbage disposal? Yeah, orange peels help clear it out and make it smell good. Wish I could do that for you.
I just want to ask you something.
This bothered me.
Yes.
The sound effects mainly. Yeah. Yeah, even they're fake, you're still. Oh!
Damn it.
Oh, onto the glass. Oh.
And I'm pretty sure this is only the second time I've seen it.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
So it was fun watching it, knowing the ending, going, let's see if I can see spots where but they don't really telegraph.
No.
I mean, there's nothing that really telegraphs the ending that you're just like, it really comes out of left field.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe there are the scenes, but there is nothing like Sixth Sense where it's like, you know, when there's ghosts around, there's always red or you know, like those kind of clues that are supposed to clue you in. I don't remember seeing anything like that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't anything like that. It was like, that. Well, even then, even with the Sixth Sense, I was totally taken by that movie. It wasn't spoiled for me. I was totally did not see it coming. But in this movie, I totally did not see that coming. I was like, there's like that feel good ending, and then the end ending, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh wow. So I'm like, okay, this is how it turned out. And even at that end ending, even at the feel good ending, you're like, oh, this is a good movie, right? Like this turned out, and then that twist at the very very end, and you're like, oh my god, it just puts it over the top.
It's just an awful feeling.
I will say this. I do remember, like I said, I remember the movie. Part of the thing was just coming off of Sixth Sense, right, and not knowing what to expect, not knowing when you watch this the first time. There's that anticipation, right? There's like, okay, what's going on, and you're trying to put the clues together. It's like, and you play it up pretty well. Like, is he really is this guy crazy, or does he really have? Because you don't know whether this is. This is a fantasy movie, right? Is it just reality, and it's just the guy's crazy, and he's not,
Right.
And it was just a fluke.
And it was just a fluke accident. Yeah, I mean, you don't know for the first time you're watching it, you don't know. So a lot of that drama and the build up, so you're like looking for the next clue kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I think knowing how it ends, that's how I think it feels a little slower now because you don't have that dramatic build up. You know what I mean? That you had the first time you watched it.
Right.
The first time you watch it, you're like, okay, wow, you're looking for the little clues in every conversation,
Right.
Yeah, so.
Well, I think that there was like hints and clues, but they weren't like it wasn't like a hint or clue towards the end, just more of like maybe a more insidious nature to him than what we like. I don't know, just.
Right. I remember watching it and going like, okay, he was hurt in a car accident, so he's obviously either gained these powers or he doesn't have these powers. Because there's just enough doubt to throw it in there until
like it's possible someone could be the holy miracle child and just like get out of it alive. It's
exactly.
Okay.
And even with the weights weren't crazy weights, right? It wasn't like he was lifting like 500 pounds. Still a lot, right? Benching 350 pounds is crazy.
Right.
But you're like, not out of the realm of possibility, right? So it's not like, he hasn't got to the bending steel levels yet. So, yeah, you even at that point, you're like, okay, there's a little hint, in the fantasy column, right?
Yeah.
But still, it could be, grounded. It still could be reality. The guy should be crazy, and you never know which way it was going to go, right? So we're kind of. I think this was the genius of this movie is because after Sixth Sense, everybody was looking for,
something.
That stuff because everyone felt the same way after watching the Sixth Sense, right? Because if you fell for it and you got taken by surprise, you're like, wow, and then it shows the flashbacks where it shows every time you're like, God, I should have saw it,
right?
And then you go back and see the movie again, you're like, okay, it's right there, I can totally see it.
Right.
So people were looking for that in this one, right? And I think in order to pull off that switch at the end. Just he's at the top of his game at this point, and then it's really good. I mean, I can't put it over the top of Sixth Sense for his best movie because Sixth Sense was a masterpiece. This was really good, and then from here, then the next one was Signs, I believe, which was a good movie. The characterization was really good in it. Much smaller movie. I mean, other than the goofy premise of the aliens, coming to a water planet and and their big weakness is water.
Yeah,
seems to be the big
that's theme. It seems like he
lady in the water.
Yeah, he uses water a lot. And here, it was really dumb.
Yeah,
water's like your kryptonite. You mean breathing?
Breathing, yeah.
You mean I have to breathe?
Yeah, he panics in water. So I mean, he was like, oh, really? He's not really any more vulnerable to water than any of us are.
Well, and he panics. Because he's caught in a plastic tarp in the water.
I would panic too.
But again, it's because I'm going to drown because I need to breathe.
Yeah.
Well, he said at the beginning he was afraid of water.
Yeah, he was afraid. Yeah. So, but Well, in that, well, if you almost drowned as a kid,
that's understandable.
You know, you can understand why you'd be afraid of water.
True.
Now,
Thanks.
You like sports?
It's my field. I represent athletes. I'm an agent.
Are you looking for any male synchronized swimmers? I'm thinking about getting into that.
Is that right?
I'm afraid of water. I think that's a problem.
but also,
Although he says that as a joke in the beginning, it's very tongue in cheek.
that's
yeah,
true.
that's true. Yeah,
I'm afraid of water. Do you think that'll be a problem?
problem. Well, because it was a joke part of the
Right.
synchronized swimmer thing, but you notice it. The lady said he was on the bottom of the pool for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. There's would be brain damage normally, right? So maybe it just incapacitates him. Maybe he's he truly is invulnerable,
Right.
and then just drowning he just incapacitates him for a while.
Maybe that's something they'll explore in
Yeah,
Glass.
maybe we'll see. That's
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously the cast is good, right? I mean, Robin Wright is
I've come to a decision.
Okay.
I just want to ask you something, okay? And you can be totally honest. I'm prepared for any answer, and it won't affect me. Have you been with anyone? I mean, since we've been having problems. The answer won't affect me. I just need to know. It won't affect me either way.
she's a really great actress. So, playing his wife, and which is that's a key role because with that character, because that relationship it has to push the story forward, right? And she, has to be a likable character, even though that she, doesn't want to be with him if he's in football. He gives up everything for her, stuff like that, So, but you still got to be that relationship has to work in order for it to, and and they're not together for most of the movie.
Yeah.
Right. So you gotta have the emotional payoff at the end when they actually do get back together.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what stood out to you this time watching it through.
My favorite find being that comic with Superman and the Beast that they go to. I'm like, that's the Beast. That's the guy who's going to fight. He's sitting there and talking about how comic books are dramatization.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. It's right there.
They even mentioned the two kinds of villains: the one that fights you with his fists and the one that fights you with his mind.
Yeah.
They're totally building up. Thing is, he mentioned originally he had an idea for a trilogy. You got to wonder how much of this trilogy did he have in mind back then when he was doing this?
Right.
How much did he lay groundwork for future movies that may not happen?
Yeah, and how just looking forward, how dramatic versus adventure is the next movie going to be?
Yeah, true.
I mean, they show a lot of action scenes, but are those all of them? We're just missing the narrative bridges between them, or what?
Yeah. So we're kind of we'll see. Well, I mean, it looks like they're all locked up in an institute.
Yeah.
At one point in that movie, so I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of drama.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. There's gonna be drama.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Drama and suspense. So, but yeah, I mean, I will say that one thing that stood out to me obviously was the pacing was slower.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What about you? Would you?
Yeah.
Your second viewing, was there?
Well, like I said, I mean, noticing, looking for the clues that Elijah is the bad guy.
There's none.
There's none there. Yeah.
They're not there, which is interesting. So I think that's kind of a masterful little twist.
Yeah.
On you're focused on the, is he really? Is he not?
Right.
And then the real twist is, this other guy's been doing all
this.
Right.
He's responsible for all this. Well, I mean, he does have extensive knowledge of all the accidents that happened And then,
yeah,
you know,
that's the only thing. Is
he mentioned several times he's been looking for that, you know, the sole survivor.
Yeah.
You know, so, but like you said, we're too busy looking at, you know, what's going on in this hand, you know, to see what's going on over here. So, you know, the misdirect. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's it's neat. It's one of those things where I would recommend it to people. Back then, I was like, oh, if you're into comics, watch this. It's a you know, comic book movie. It's not a comic book movie like, well, because we didn't have, you know, these movies we have now.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe or any of that stuff.
It's nothing like that. This is a drama. It's a little slower pace, but it's good. You know, like Doug said, it's greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
You know, so, all right. Doug, you want to rate this thing? Say whether it holds up?
Oh, it definitely holds up. Yeah. I would say, I don't know, what have we been doing?
1 to 10?
Yeah, I'll say an 8.5.
8.5. All right. Kristen, what do you think?
We'll go with an 8.5. Not quite a 9, but it's definitely not an 8, so 8.5, it's good.
I think it's unanimous. 8.5 across the board. Yeah. Unbreakable, really good. I am very much looking forward to Glass. Yeah. Especially, you know, this got me back into these characters, right? Mm-hmm. And getting ready to see these characters. Yeah. You know, how they've, you know, over the last 20 years, how they've, what's happened with them, you know? Right. And then the introduction of McAvoy's Beast, which is, or, you know, or Legion, or what do they call them when they're the group? Right. Is going to be amazing because that was an amazing performance from Split. So looking for that, and then the stories of these old characters that, you know, really liked. I'm super excited for it. So if you guys are super excited for Glass, let us know. Let us know what you thought of Unbreakable or what you thought of Split. You know, if there's anything we missed, if it was last time you saw it, just leave those comments down below. Love to hear from you guys. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. And if you want to support the channel and the things that we do here, Doug, how do they do that? Great. Yeah, right with your coughing.
Well, we have got 3 links down below. One to our Patreon, one to our Amazon affiliate link, and one to our Teespring store, all of which will help us out.
All right. Thanks, guys. And be sure to look for our review of Glass sometime next week. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Bye.